Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Strong Draws. My name is Brett Strong, and today I am working on Starfire. I know it's been a couple weeks. I haven't been able to get a new video uploaded, but I've been kind of busy. But it's all behind me. It's got all the work done, and should be back to normal here. I'm gonna try actually to get you guys a couple videos this week because I have a little bit of free time for at least this upcoming week. So, um, kind of the reason I hadn't been able to get a video up for the past couple weeks is because I was really busting to get my Power Rangers fan comic out, and which is now after, which is finally done and up on my Facebook page. So if you guys would like to check that out, there will be the link to my Facebook page in the description. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. Um, but until then, since that's all done, I will be giving away some prizes to do with that here in the next let's say week, maybe 2 weeks. We'll see kind of what happens. I do have a couple projects lined up that I gotta get working on here eventually. One is kind of it's a commission to do a comic, but it's kind of on hold at the moment. For some reason, they're fixing the script. So until then, I got a little bit of free time. I have another project that I'm working on that I have to start doing layouts on real soon. But until then, I'm gonna try and get a couple more videos out. Like I said, at least try to get one more out this week. So if there's anything you guys would like to see drawn, any characters in particular, let me know in the description below. This video is going pretty quick. I believe it took me, if I remember right, the timer was about 2 hours and 45 minutes. And I sped it up just to get it under just 20, so it's going really, really quick. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the description below, or in the comment section below, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. Also, just to go over real quick, I am working in Photoshop CC right now, and this drawing is going to go from pencils to inks. So I will be jumping into Manga Studio 4EX here in a little while, and I am also working on a Wacom Cintiq 12WX. Sorry, I'm probably going to be coughing and clearing my throat quite a bit through this. We just got back from camping for a couple days, and so with all the allergies and the smoke from the fires and stuff, still kind of working that out of my system. On top of that, I am quitting smoking, which is a whole another problem on its own. So I don't know where I'm kind of standing at most of the time, mentally, physically, emotionally. So again, I'm sorry for any of the coughing or clearing my throat, or I got a drink here, so any slurping, whatever. I know it probably sounds disgusting. I'm real sorry, but just kind of a necessary evil at the moment. So again, this is a sketchbook that I started in Manga Studio, or it is a sketchbook in Manga Studio. All the Photoshop stuff is. You can unfortunately make a book like you can in Manga Studio, but all the penciling done in Photoshop will be part of the sketchbook I was talking about a while ago, which is a thing I'm going to be doing. It's something I do when I want to draw but don't have necessarily time to draw. If I can't, so like if I can't get into a page for more than an hour, it just seems almost not worth it, especially at night. Like if I'm starting at 11:30 sometimes, and I have to go to bed in about an hour. I don't want to get revved up into a page just so I can go to sleep in an hour and get up to go to work at 6 o'clock the next morning. It just doesn't gel well with me that I'm not getting all that far, I guess. So I started this sketchbook so that I can at least get some drawing in. Because if I don't draw every day anymore, number one, I feel guilty. Number two, I get real cranky because this is kind of, you know, I want to be a comic book artist. That's really been my goal since I was, probably a real little kid. I guess I got real serious about it when I was about 15. And so going on 15 years trying to, you know, pursue this dream. So if I don't draw every day, I start to feel real guilty. And then I feel real unproductive, get real cranky real quick. So the sketchbook is to, you know, keep me productive and also keep me more happy mentally. So with this sketch, the way I kind of did it was I was at work and I was just kind of working on poses and gesture drawing and what have you, and came up with this kind of cool pose. Not real, you know, kind of a standard flying pose, which initially I wanted it to be either maybe Supergirl or maybe Wonder Woman. And so I started working in kind of this cape, or, you know, just wasn't really excited about it. And then I worked on the hair and kind of after kind of just noodling around with it for a bit, kind of came up with this big sweeping hairstyle that, I don't know, made me think of Starfire. So that's kind of where this kind of came from. I mean, the sketch was only about 4 inches by 3 inches, just on a standard line paper. Brought it home, scanned it into my computer, changed it to blue, and kind of this is where we're at with it right now. I will be doing some videos later where I started all in the computer, so you can kind of see how I build my figures and my characters. I don't think I've really done those too much in here. Maybe a little bit. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if I have started anything from scratch in here, but the next one I do will probably be that way. I think the next one I'm going to do is my new original character that I've been working on. Kind of give you guys a sneak peek at her. So yeah, just kind of noodling away here at her hair. There you can kind of see the original under sketch just on some lined paper. So here I think I was just looking up some reference, trying to figure out exactly how I wanted her hair to go. So with the working digitally these days, I was kind of talking about this roughly, I think in another video, I've been trying to move away from using the undo button quite as much as I have been, and trying not to use too many of the quote-unquote, I guess, cheats of digital, which is resizing, or, you know, more especially the undo button. I've been trying to work more towards, you know, just a traditional process within the digital realm, which is not using, you know, the transform tool, not using, what am I trying to say here? Not using the undo button. More basically that if I mess something up, I'd rather erase it and redraw it to a certain extent. Now I'm not going to say I don't use the transform tool or the undo button, but I'm trying to get away from using it quite as much because I found with doing it digitally and with the use of that undo button, it was actually slowing me down when the whole idea of going digital was to speed me up. Again, this took me just under 3 hours, which is pretty quick for me. I'd like to be quicker. I think we all would like to be quicker when it comes to this, but by doing it as traditionally as not necessarily as traditionally as possible, but as, you know, a little more with the erase rather than the undo. I find I'm a bit more precious, I guess, with the lines, so that I'm not just scribbling until I finally find what I'm looking for, which can take a lot longer unless I have like an idea and just kind of go for it and erase and just kind of keep on a path rather than stray around until I find what I'm, find something I'm looking for. And it seems to be working. I kind of like the results I've been getting. Now we're in Manga Studio. Kind of the process I'm using here is I'm doing all the line work, the finished line work, with a 0.15 magic marker tool, kind of to basically simulate pigment microns, which is what I usually ink with on paper. And I've always kind of liked the look I got from them, as opposed to I fiddled around with using brushes or brush pens, and just never kind of dug the look as much as I liked just the normal markers. And so this is just to kind of simulate that look. And then I'll go in and add line weights and stuff later, and contour lines and what have you. And I've really been kind of digging the results. I'm trying to basically simulate the look of traditional work in a digital realm. But just trying to make it, again, just trying to make the process faster. That's the one thing that I was always kind of looking for doing digital. And in the long run, I think it's a cheaper route. It's a lot more expensive startup. But once you kind of got all the materials and you don't have to buy the pens and the paper and all this, it ends up being cheaper in the long run. And you can get a little more. I mean, I'm getting to the point, like I said, I don't want to use the undo button, but up until this point, using that undo button has let me experiment without fear of screwing something up. And I've kind of got to a point where I kind of know what I like and what I can do, and kind of getting these results a little bit quicker now. So digital, I think, has helped move me forward quicker than traditional, because I was more apt to be experimental because of that undo button. But now I want to get away from that undo button because it's slowing me down at this point. Also, something I'm trying to work on, I mentioned this in the Predator video, is trying to be a little more loose and give the characters a bit more life to them and not be so technical and precise. Like right now, some of my favorite artists that I've been really looking at is Greg Capullo, Ryan Otley, Todd Knock, and Freddie Williams II. And just the kind of one thing they all have in common is they're all kind of cartoony artists that all have kind of a bounciness and a spontaneity to, at least in my eyes, they have this spontaneity to their line work, which isn't quite so clean cut and just more. I just think their drawings have a lot of life to them. And again, like I discussed in the Predator video, which you haven't seen, you can go back and check that out. I don't remember if it was the inking or the penciling video. But my girlfriend had said after she's seen the finished product, she goes, it looks lifeless. Just looks posed and just, like an action figure. I'm paraphrasing. She's not an artist, which I kind of like, because it gives me just an everyday person's view of my work, which sometimes they can see stuff that I can't, because they don't know necessarily what's wrong with it. They just know something's wrong, and not having the knowledge to say that it's this or that can be very helpful. And some people just, I don't know. Some people are just idiots and want to say something mean, but I don't think she's going to do that to me. She might. I don't know. Make her mad enough. She might. Who knows? But I think she's being honest in this respect and trying to be genuinely helpful. Sorry. Again, still trying to get that smoke out of me. So, something I've really been focusing on and studying with these, like I said, studying these guys' art, is trying to figure out how to make this more spontaneous and give it a little more life, a little more bounce. Now, the thing is this was intended, I guess, really is kind of a sketch. It's not. I would have probably spent a little more time had it been a finished, if I was going for a finished drawing, or make sure the anatomy was a little bit more correct, making sure, you know, the hands were in the right proportion. I probably would have flipped it back and forth to make sure everything looked right. You know, but at the same time, as I was going, after I looked at it when I was done, I kind of really dug the fact that it's not perfect. You know, there's very little in this world that is perfect. There's very few things that are straight lines and, you know, symmetrical and you know, pretty, because a lot of, at least for me, what I've been finding the more I've been studying things and looking at stuff, the stuff I find more attractive is the stuff that isn't perfect looking, because then it just looks fake. It looks like a toy. It looks like a doll. It looks like something other than a living human creature of some sort. So that's something I'm gonna try and bring to my comics work. I think, I don't know, for whatever reason I get into drawing pages, or revert back to that technical, everything has to be perfect kind of mentality, which I have to get over, and bring a little bit more of this into that process. And another thing I found is, this I was working at like 600 DPI in with finished pages. Even the Power Rangers thing, I believe was 600 DPI. And what I found is it really hit me at when I went to Comic-Con, I think it was last year. I had taken some pages, I had printed off some pages that I did for the book I was working on at the time, The New Breed, which you can pick up on Indie Planet. I will leave that in the description. There's 2 issues out. I did the interior line art on. Kind of a fun book. Wish we could have got more done, but that's a whole nother story. But when I got the pages printed out, they looked cool. I took them to Comic-Con and, you know, show them around. And the more I looked at them, I was like, they just look too pretty and too perfect and too clean. So with this sketchbook, I've noticed I only made at 300, 350, somewhere in there, just because you know, smaller file size, doesn't take up so much space, so much RAM to run, you know, doesn't bog down my computer. But as you can see, when we zoom in, the lines are a little ugly, I guess is the word, a little nasty looking. They're not quite so crisp and clean, which I kind of like. I've been really kind of getting into that, because it looks like it's on paper. It looks like it has a bit of a texture to it. And so again, something I'm going to try with some of this work I got coming up is to work on a bit of a smaller file size, just to get a little more grit to the lines, to make it look a little more traditional. And that's just me. If you guys like that, I mean, there's certain people that like that kind of clean, smooth look to their work, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, I don't know. I'm a bit, like I said, I've been experimenting. I kind of like that grittiness to the paper, or to the lines to an extent. So, and I mean, you can do that in Photoshop. It's just with this, it's all just black and white. There's no gray like you would get with a Photoshop line, and I like the tools a little bit better. So anyway, we're kind of winding down here. Got about another minute or so left here. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while. It's a little bit of a longer video than usual. Go check out my Facebook page if you want to read that Power Rangers fan comic. I'm really proud of it. I'm excited I got it done. So you can follow me there. You can check me out on Deviant, on Twitter. You know, like I said, I got some other projects coming up. All the updates and stuff will be kind of there on one or more of those platforms or social media networks. Like I said, I'm going to try and get another video out to you guys this week. I think I'm going to do my new character. See what you guys think of her. So I'm going to do one final shot of Starfire here. Get a little zoom in and close up. So again, check me out on Facebook, Deviant, and we'll see you guys either later this week or next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.